along the way, we just assume that because you're so creative, you're good at selling as well. And it's weird because here's the dichotomy. Back in the day, long time ago, the account people sold the stuff. Nowadays, the creatives have to sell their own work, but there's no training. There's very little to no training at all, no matter where you go around the world, in terms of this sort of, how do you sell stuff, and which is a shame, So personally, the reason why I chose this is because in China, particularly when I first started over there, it's very similar to this market, where clients are generally a little bit more risk averse. They're a little less akin to great work, and therefore take a chance at it. So they rely on formulas and things like that, and research, etc., to validate what they want to do. So I faced that challenge, and seeing how I'm in Dubai Lynx, I would imagine an emerging market like this, they're facing the same kind of challenge. So I want to just inspire creatives to start putting some thought behind it. Hey, you can sell it to millions of people in 30 seconds. You got to be able to sell to one guy in a room, So that's essentially it. The challenge is there's no importance placed on that. I think number one is finding a way to be authentic, and I always tell my guys, when you knock on the door and somebody's not opening the door, climb through the window. You know what I mean? Problem about creatives is that constantly trying to sell in a one-way track. Like, oh yeah, this is so cool. Can't you see it's cool? A client's not buying it because their mind is in a different place. They have worries and they have all these concerns and they're in a different place. How do you disarm them? How do you take them to this one place? So this is something that, creatives or account management or whatever need to think about it. Every time you sell to something, you gotta ask yourself this question: what keeps them up at night? What is the big barrier? So that's the one thing, And number two is, it's just some technical sort of skill sets that you need to learn. For example, go sell a script. Don't hold it and read it like that. You're going to bore people to death. Plain and simple. And within every creatives and within every network, I'm sure there's a great creative director somewhere who's great at it. It's a great showman. Learn from those guys, the John Haggertys, if you will. They walk into the room and they command the room. So it's by osmosis, or it's by just taking classes, learning from these guys, and doing a lot. The funny thing about it is, we present so much every day, but we're not great at it. So I think we need to put importance and focus on that. Right now, every consumer is a master researcher. They got a PhD in advertising. They call bullshit on you straight up. So if you're going to sell them through the usual channels and BS them all the way through, they're going to call you bluff. So you got to be authentic. And part of the part of being authentic is telling great stories, and lead people along. It's a skill set that existed for millions of years, man, generations. We're now going, oh man, this is a cool thing. Yeah, it was cool 5,000 years ago too, man. But it is going to evolve. Storytelling is going to go away. It's going to evolve. The question is what shape and form it's going to take. To me, that toilet example that I showed, that's storytelling without being beginning, middle, and end. It is an experience. That is a story in of itself. So that's kind of my point of view on it.